Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on the marketer's playbook. We're going to explore the really clever strategies that brands use to connect with us, decoding everything from how they decide who we are to how they craft those perfect messages that make us feel like they just get us.
I mean, really think about it. Why does your Spotify Discover Weekly playlist feel like it was made by a friend who totally understands your taste in music? Or how does a Nike ad just somehow tap right into your personal goals? Well, it's not magic, not at all. It's a very, very detailed strategy. And today, we're going to break it all down piece by piece.
So here's our game plan for today. We'll kick things off with who businesses are trying to talk to. Then we'll look at how they find them. After that, we'll dive into their ultimate toolkit, the 7 Ps, see it in action with a real-world example, and finally, we'll look at the new rules for marketing in the modern world.
Okay, let's dive right into the heart of it. The first step for any business, and you could argue it's the most important one, is answering a really simple question. Who are we talking to? You know, it's like having the perfect key. If you're trying to open the wrong door, it's completely useless, right? You could have the best product in the world, but if you're marketing it to the wrong people, your message just vanishes. This super focused group is called the target market. It's the who that every single business strategy is built on. For a brand like Gymshark, they're not just aiming for anyone who goes to the gym. They're targeting teens and young adults who are all about fitness culture and social media. And for a store like Penny's, it's all about families who want trendy stuff without the huge price tag. Nailing this definition is the foundation for everything else they do. And this is where it gets really powerful. When a business gets its target market right, it creates this ripple effect across the entire company. That target market becomes their North Star. It guides the brand's personality, it influences every feature of the product, and it decides whether they should be advertising on TikTok or in a magazine. And ultimately, this focus is what builds that deep trust that turns a first-time customer into a lifelong fan. But here's the thing, a business can't target everyone. The market is just way too big. So what they do is they slice it up into smaller, more manageable pieces. This whole process is called market segmentation, and it's exactly how they find that one perfect group to focus all their energy on. So, how do they slice this pie? Well, there are 4 main ways they do it. They can segment by demographics, that's the who you are on paper, like your age or income. Then there's geographics, which is simply where you are, but it gets way more interesting with psychographics. This is the why you are. It digs into your lifestyle, your values, your personality. And finally, there's behavioral segmentation, which is all about what you do, your shopping habits, and your loyalty to brands. So a business has a theory, a pretty good guess about who their ideal customer is. But how do they go from an educated guess to a cold, hard fact? How do they actually confirm their ideas and maybe discover some things they hadn't even thought about? The answer is through the powerful world of market research. Businesses have 2 main ways to investigate. First, there's field research. This is where they basically become detectives, going out and collecting brand new first-hand data. Think of a car company running a focus group to see how people react to a new dashboard. It's super specific and fresh, but man, it can be expensive and take a long time. The other option is desk research. This means analyzing data that's already out there, like government stats or their own sales reports from last year. It's quick, it's cheap, but the info might be a bit outdated or not a perfect fit. Okay, so once they have a clear picture of who the customer is and what they really want, it's time to build the actual strategy. And this is where the famous marketing mix comes into play. You can think of it as a toolkit with 7 essential levers that businesses pull to create their perfect offer. And these are the legendary 7 Ps of marketing: product, price, promotion, place, people, process, and packaging. Imagine them like 7 dials on a control board. Each one has to be tuned just right to create the perfect signal for their target market. So let's break each one down. First up, we have product. And this is so much more than just the physical thing. It's about its unique selling point, or USP, that one thing that makes it stand out from the crowd. For Spotify, the product isn't just music streaming. It's a deeply personal experience driven by its amazing algorithm. It's also about the branding, that feeling the name and logo give you, and the design of the product itself, from how it looks to how sustainable it is. Next is price, and this is a really fascinating game of strategy. A company might use price skimming, like Sony does with a new PlayStation. They start high for the early adopters and then drop the price over time.
Or they could go the other way with penetration pricing, like HelloFresh does, with those big initial discounts to get a ton of customers really fast. And of course, there's premium pricing, where the high price itself is meant to signal amazing quality, kind of like what Lululemon does. And then there's promotion, which is all about getting the word out. This is the brand's voice shouting from the rooftops about what they've made and why you should care. And they can use all sorts of megaphones: a big TV ad, a post from an influencer on social media, a buy one, get one free deal, or even just some really helpful face-to-face advice from an expert in a store. So for the final 4 Ps, these are all about the complete customer experience. People refers to every single person you interact with from the brand. Packaging is like the silent salesperson on the shelf. It's that crucial first impression. Process is all the stuff behind the scenes that makes buying and using the product either super easy or a total headache. And finally, place is all about access. Where can you actually buy it? Is it at your local shop, on a website, or both? Okay, so that's all the theory, but let's see how this playbook actually works in the real world. We're going to take a global giant, McDonald's, and use this 7 piece frameworks to see how we could improve their marketing. When you put McDonald's under the microscope, their strengths are super obvious. It's great value and it's incredibly convenient. But there's a huge gap. In a world that's so focused on wellness and fitness, their menu doesn't really speak to this huge growing group of health-conscious people. It's like they're not even part of that conversation. So the big question is, how could they use their marketing mix to fix this? Here's a simple 3-part solution using the 7 Ps. First, you adjust the product. Introduce something like a macro chicken wrap that's high in protein and low in calories. Second, you change the promotion. Run targeted campaigns on Instagram with fitness influencers to build some real credibility. And third, you update the packaging. Use a clean, eco-friendly design with nutritional info right on the front to build trust. You see how it all connects? Now, this marketing playbook isn't some dusty old book. It is constantly changing, it's always evolving, and right now there are 2 massive forces out there that are rewriting the rules of the game for every single business. First off, there's the digital earthquake. Technology hasn't just changed marketing, it has totally rewritten its DNA. Businesses can now get instant feedback on social media. They can use AI to predict trends, and they can run ad campaigns that are so targeted it feels like they're reading your mind. And maybe the biggest change of all, they can measure everything. They know exactly what's working in real time and can change their strategy in a heartbeat. The second huge shift is the rise of the conscious consumer. Today, having a great product is just the ticket to the game. We customers have more information than ever, and we expect the companies we buy from to be honest, fair, and good for the planet. This isn't just a small trend anymore. It's a core expectation that affects a company's entire reputation. But this comes with a really important warning. In today's world, you have to be authentic. This whole practice of greenwashing, where companies just pretend to be eco-friendly without actually doing the work, is a massive risk. In our super connected world, people will find out if a brand's actions don't match its words. And the trust that gets lost, it can be gone for good. So there you have it, the complete marketer's playbook, from finding the customer to dealing with the modern world. The next time you see an ad or buy a product or even just scroll through a brand's social media, you'll know the strategy behind it. So the real question is, which brand are you going to look at differently now?